Hi, I'm Nick from NCG English, and today we're going to have a look at financial vocabulary. 45 key terms split over 4 videos, and today is part 3. (21) Principal and capital. Principal and capital refer to the original amount lent or invested in a loan or bond. This amount, along with the interest, is repaid by the borrower. For example, the amount owed on this loan is £17,000, consisting of £15,000 in principal and £2,000 in outstanding interest. The term principal can also refer to the most important person or the leader in an organization, such as the principal of a college. It is important not to confuse principal with principle, slightly different spelling, which refers to fundamental beliefs that govern one's behavior. Number 22. Interest. Interest is the additional amount paid on a loan, mortgage or credit card, above the principal or capital. It represents the profit for the lending institution and is usually expressed as an annual rate. The lender charges interest and the borrower pays interest. For example, your rent is due in advance on the first working day of each month. If you do not make the payment, we reserve the right to charge interest at 18% per annum, calculated daily. Number 23. Arrears. Arrears refer to the total amount of a loan or payment that is overdue or late. For example, your rent is due in advance on the first working day of each month, and if you go into arrears, we reserve the right to charge interest at 18% per annum, calculated daily. Number 24. Indebtedness. Indebtedness refers to the total amount of money owed in the form of debt. For example, the Zamora Group owes a total of $6.6 million to the bank, and they may struggle to repay this debt burden. To be indebted also has a meaning that is nothing to do with finance. If you help somebody with a big problem, they might say to you, "I'm indebted to you. Thank you so much." This means that the person knows that they need to do something good for you in return for your help. Number 25. Covenants. Covenants are used by banks to monitor large loans they make to companies. They are a set of calculations that control the actions of the borrower. The borrower must meet the covenant, and if this does not happen, then the bank has the power to charge more interest or to change the terms of the loan. If the covenant is not met, then it is breached or failed. For example, Zamora plc failed to meet the bank's covenant that required them to make an average of $250,000 in profit each month. As a result, the bank has the power to renegotiate the loan terms. Number 26. To renegotiate. When you see the re at the start of a verb, it often means to do something for the second time. Examples are to reassess, to reappear, to refit, to reform, to rejoin, and to recalculate. Thus, to renegotiate in finance means to change the terms of a loan or contract in a dialogue with the customer. Renegotiating involves changing the term of the contract after a dialogue with the customer. If something is negotiable, it means that it can be negotiated, while something not negotiable or non-negotiable cannot be changed. For example, there is no point in you trying to renegotiate the terms of this loan. All terms are non-negotiable. Number 27. Credit rating. A credit rating is an assessment of a person or company's creditworthiness, which determines if they are safe to lend money to. Credit ratings are performed by credit rating agencies, and a scoring system is used to determine a person's creditworthiness. For example, an individual with a low credit rating may have difficulty getting a loan to buy a car. The global personal credit rating industry is almost completely controlled by just 4 companies: Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and Innovis. Next up is a new topic: pension fund terms. Number 28. Pension scheme. A pension fund or scheme is an amount of money which is designed to provide monthly income for somebody who has retired from work. Normally, the money is invested. If the investments are satisfactory, then the money, often called the pot, will be enough to last for the whole life of the pension holder. Pension fund companies need to calculate how long people in the population will live on average. This is a highly specialized job, and the people who do it are called actuaries. An actuarial qualification has very difficult exams. The average life expectancy in a country is called the mortality rate, and the average length of people's lives is called longevity. For example, the Institute of Actuaries has just announced that the life expectancy for both men and women has fallen for the first time in many years. This means that pension funds will require less money to fund them, as people are not expected to live as long. Number 29. An annuity. An annuity is a fixed annual income that can be purchased from a pension plan. For example, with a pension fund of £100,000, an individual could expect an annuity of £3,500 per year for the rest of their life. Annuities can be fixed amount for life or increased each year with inflation, and can also provide income for a spouse after the holder passes away. Number 30. A defined benefit pension scheme. Large companies and government organisations, like the police, army, national health or teachers, have defined benefit pension schemes covering the whole of the workforce. A defined benefit is a guarantee to the individual, the person, that they will receive a certain amount of income every year for the rest of their lives after they retire from work. These schemes have become much less popular with companies in recent years because the guarantee given can make them very expensive to fund. The schemes can run out of money or become underfunded. For example, a defined benefit pension is really good for people as it provides absolute certainty as to what your monthly income will be for the rest of your life. Number 31. A defined contribution pension scheme. Many company pension plans are defined contribution plans. This means that when the individual retires, the amount of money in their account, the contribution, will be used to generate a monthly income for the rest of their life, with no guarantee from the company. Defined contribution plans are preferred by companies due to their lower commitment to employees compared to defined benefit plans. For example, Zamora plc recently announced that it will be closing its defined benefit pension plan to new employees and will instead enroll them in a defined contribution pension plan. The directors of Zamora explained that the cost of maintaining the defined benefit plan has become too high, and they want to secure the pensions of existing members. Number 32. State pension. A state pension is a monthly income provided by a government to individuals who have received the official retirement age. For example, in the UK, the state pension is available to men and women at the age of 66. The government funds the pension and individuals receive the payments. In the UK, the state pension amount is protected and will increase in line with inflation. For example, I'm going to be 66 in 2 years' time, so I can start to draw my state pension. The next topic is taxation vocabulary. Number 33. Tax return. Many working adults are required to file a tax return with the government annually. The tax return displays their total earnings and the tax paid so far. The return will determine if additional tax is owed or if too much tax has been paid. In many countries, individuals are responsible for accurately reporting their information through a self-assessment system. For example, tax returns can be submitted to the government in either a paper or digital format. The government encourages individuals to submit their returns digitally. Number 34. Taxable income. Taxable income is the income subject to income tax. Through self-assessment, the software used for entering tax returns will calculate an individual's taxable income. There may be expenses that can be deducted from their total income, which will then result in their taxable income. These expenses are referred to as allowable expenses. For example, my gross income last year was £37,000, but after deducting allowable expenses of £4,000, my taxable income was £33,000. Number 35. Capital gains. When you sell an asset like a painting or an investment property at a profit, you have made a capital gain. In most countries, you will have to pay tax on this profit, and the tax is called capital gains tax. This is different to income tax, because income tax is payable on your income from your job or your salary, and any investment income, bank interest, dividends, rental income, etc., that you get. For example, I bought that E-Type Jaguar car as an investment 10 years ago for £25,000. I've just sold it for £95,000. So I need to pay capital gains tax on my £70,000 capital gain. So, thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel and you're learning English, then you're missing out on a lot of free content. So hit the subscribe button and like this video if you enjoyed the content. I'm looking forward to seeing you in part 4.